Welcome to the Goalbusters Expert Peak Productivity Tips podcast, where top business experts get just 7 minutes to answer 5 rapid-fire questions about what they do and how they stay productive. Each episode is packed with actionable insights to help boost your efficiency and achieve your goals. Let's dive in and unlock the secrets to peak performance. Well, hello everyone. My name is Robin J. Emden, and I'm an accountability coach and author of Get Resultsology, the science of getting stuff done. I work with people who run their own business. No boss, distractions everywhere, and never enough hours in the day. Together, we cut through the noise, sharpen their focus, and follow through on the big ideas that actually move the needle. That's what I call the momentum formula. Do it today, profit tomorrow, and repeat. So if that sounds like the kind of breakthrough that you've been looking for, then you're in exactly the right place. And speaking of being in exactly the right place, I am delighted to welcome our guest expert today, Kelli Jones. Kelli is an online trademark lawyer who's revolutionizing legal services for women entrepreneurs. After experiencing the toxic culture of traditional law firms, including being underpaid compared to less experienced male colleagues, Kelli built her own practice where she does things differently. A proud Swiftie and former fitness instructor turned attorney, she's on a mission to help entrepreneurs legally protect their brands without the stuffiness, sky-high fees, or condescension of old-school law. Kelli, welcome to Goalbusters.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
You're extremely welcome. And whereabouts in the world are you, Kelli?
I am in Nashville, Tennessee, in the US.
Of course, another music connection, probably the best music connection, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to say that, or I'll be in all sorts of trouble, but I'm sure it is. All right, that's me waffling on. Shall we do the questions instead?
Sure. Let's
Okay,
do
I'll
it.
get the clock up on the screen. And there it goes. Kelli, could you tell me, please, could you expand on who is your ideal client?
Yeah, so my ideal client is any business owner. They can have an online brand, a brick and mortar, sell goods, services, whichever. Really just anyone that has a business and knows that they want to continue their business and it's, more than just like a hobby.
All right, that's very succinct and clear, which is what you would expect, what I would expect anyway. So could you expand then on the kind of problem or problems that you solve?
Yes. So the main thing that I help with is trademarks, which is basically how a business owner can own their brand. Because a lot of people think that, if they have their LLC or other type of business entity, that it means they own the name that they have filed for when they, registered their business. But that's not the case. To actually own that name, you need a trademark for it. That's how you get ownership over your brand. So that is really what I help people do. That way, copycats don't pop up with the same name and confuse customers, or they don't end up being forced to rebrand because they name their business something that someone else already had. So you want the trademark. That way you have something that is uniquely yours and doesn't cause confusion with any other brands in the marketplace.
Yeah, the way I think about that, having had some personal experience with it, it's like a minefield, and you need someone like Kelli who has a map of where all the mines are.
Yes.
All right. So, okay, that's brilliant. So what is one valuable free action that the audience can implement that will help them to solve this problem for themselves?
Yes. So the best thing that I always recommend people do is if you're coming up with the name of something, whether it's your business name, a name for a new product or a course, a podcast name, anything that is, part of your brand, a new tagline, I always recommend to at least do a basic free search. So in the US, you can go to the USPTO website and do a free search for this. It's not the same as the more in-depth search that a lawyer will do, but it's at least a great starting point to identify any major red flags. Because if you type in your idea and you see that someone already has it trademarked for something that is either the same type of goods or services or something very similar, you can at least, go back to the drawing board and be like, okay, let me come up with a new name rather than not do that search, proceed with it, and then 2 years down the line, get hit with the cease and desist and have to rebrand.
Yes, nightmare. An absolute nightmare scenario that you're talking about there. Yeah. All
Yes.
right. Oh, I'm getting shivers just thinking about it. So now that we have a better understanding of what you do, Kelli, let's dive briefly into goal busting, which is the theme of our podcast, focusing on how to maximize productive time to achieve business goals. Could you share any tips or advice for someone looking to improve their productivity habits?
Yeah, so I think a big part of it is figuring out how you work best and sticking with that versus trying to, always seeing. Sometimes I think it's easy as a business owner to get caught up in seeing what other people do. Like, oh, this person, to be successful, you have to get up at 6 a.m., you have to do this, you have to work this way. But not everyone is the same or built the same, works the same. So I think trying to lean into what works best for you is going to get you further faster. So for me, I'm not a morning person. And I know in the beginning of my business, I tried to like fight it. But now I just kind of let it go. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to work when it's best for me. And that allows me to get more done rather than trying to force myself up early and then I'm half tired, not as productive. And then, another thing too is I work from home, but I know that I am not super productive when I stay at home. So I try to make it a point to at least like 1 to 2 times a week, maybe more if I can, to at least go to a coffee shop and work from there because I know I get so much more done. So really just figuring out what things work for you and leaning into that. And, it's okay if it's not what like the experts say you should be doing or something like that.
Yes, and not all coffee shops are equal. Some are just better for you than others. I love the ambient background noise in some coffee shops, and yet others, like one I went to recently, all I could hear was the manager or the owner just talking and talking and talking, and I couldn't concentrate on what I was working on, because all I could hear was his really boring conversation, which had nothing to do with me. And other times it's just background noise, and it's really nice. It's
Yeah.
like white noise.
Yeah, I love testing different ones to see like,
Yeah.
okay, which ones are good to work from.
Absolutely. And also your point about you're not a morning person. I can testify for that. Well, because of the time difference between you and me, I know it's afternoon for you, but it's evening for me. Thank you very much.
Yes,
I'm not really an evening person, but no, I don't really mind. But I
I
can
chose not
genuinely say, yes, it's not morning for Kelli. I can tell you that.
Yes.
All right, that's perfect. So, what should I have asked you today, Kelli, that I didn't? And what would your answer be, please?
I think one thing is probably, who should trademark? Like, is this something that you would be thinking about? And to that, it's really, it's not necessarily a line of like how far you are in your business. It's really more of, usually I ask people 3 questions. So one, do you have something in your business that you plan on keeping? So the business name, tagline, course name, whatever. And then two, would you be upset if someone else popped up with the same or similar name? And as a business owner, you kind of should be upset if that happens because it can cause people to be confused between your business and someone else's. And we don't want that. That's the whole point of a trademark. And then three, would you be upset if you were forced to rebrand? And, maybe you were thinking of changing the name in a year or two anyway. So maybe if that happened, you wouldn't be upset and you would be okay rebranding. But I think a lot of people, when you're thinking of a name and, proceeding with that, you would be upset if you were all of a sudden forced to rebrand. So really, if you said yes to those 3 questions, then it's probably a good time to start looking into the trademark process because it does take about a year or longer. So, I have brands that come to me before they launch and ones that come years in. So that's really a good thing to think about.
Yes, I imagine that you and people in the same business as you are never short of work, because it goes back to what I said. It is a minefield, and you genuinely need a professional to hold your hand and walk you through it. And
Mhm.
thank you so much for drawing our attention to that today. I was thrilled to hear that you were coming on the show today, and you've delivered very much some very sound advice, and very serious advice too. I mean, never mind the fact, oh, I'm forced to rebrand in 2 or 3 years' time. That's a lot of work and a lot of wasted time if you get forced to do it as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Kelly, so I do have one more question for you. We did do that in exactly 7 minutes. Thank you for that. So the question I always ask at this point is, how can people reach you? Obviously, if they want to find out more about your services. And also, I always mention at this point, is there like a valuable free resource they can get from you? Because sometimes people just need to know a little bit more about your offer and what you do. It's a way of them getting to know you and feeling braver about getting in touch with you first. And usually it's a very good way of doing that. So if you have a valuable free resource you'd like to share, that we'd love to hear about that too.
Sure. So I do have, basically it's just a short guide about 3 mistakes to try to avoid to help you save money when it comes to trademarks. So you can find that at yourlegalera.com/trademark trouble, and you could download it there. And then also, if you want to reach me anywhere else, I am primarily on Instagram at lawyer Kelly with an I _. So you can always feel free to reach out to me there as well.
Fantastic. That's amazing. And I'm definitely going to go and have a look at that myself. Although I'm British, trademarks are not global. You have to get them in the different areas of the world. So it's such fun.
Yeah.
Such fun. He says insincerely. I know it's fun for you, but it's not fun for the rest of us. That's why we need someone like you to hold our hand and do it, help us do it. Kelli Jones, thank you so much for sparing the time to do this today. It's been an absolute delight. Kelli Jones, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You're extremely welcome. And remember, everybody, keep goal busting and make your future self proud. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Goalbusters. If you're enjoying it, please subscribe, rate and review it on your favourite podcast platform. Your support is very much appreciated. And if you're ready to boost your online profits, skyrocket your productivity, crush procrastination, and see a positive change in your bank balance, all within just 30 days, this is your opportunity. Take my free 5-day challenge at www.skyrocketyourproductivitychallenge.com.